What is going on, all you beautiful people? Thanks for joining me for yet another video. So good to see all your beautiful smiling faces. Today we're talking about the Fenrir, designed by Greg Schob and executed by Kansept knives. I'm so excited to check this out. Like I said in the Baku video, Greg Schob draws inspiration from mythological creatures. So this Fenrir is of course inspired by the mythological wolf god Fenrir. It reminds me of Thor Ragnarok. I think the one in that movie is called Fenrir, but it was definitely inspired by Fenrir. And I'm a big fan of wolves. When I worked at the safari, I actually was able to take care of a pack of wolves along with wolf puppies. So it just speaks to me. I really dig this knife. So let's go ahead and dive into some specs on the Fenrir, designed by Greg Schob and executed by Kansept. So the Fenrir comes in at an overall length of 7.8 inches, and we've got a blade length of 3.8 inches. For the blade material, we're looking at CPM S35BN with a harpoon blade style and a satin finish. For the handle, we've got bead blasted titanium with brown micarta inlays, and this knife is running on ceramic ball bearings. So talking about design, the blade on the Fenrir are supposed to look like a wolf with his ears back, which I think is just wicked cool. But because of that, it also gives us this phenomenally crazy harpoon blade that I love. This is definitely one of my favorite blade shapes on a knife that I've received so far this year. I think it just looks wicked cool, and it also gives you a little bit of a ramp to put your thumb on, and you got a little bit of a choil here as well, so you can really choke up on this knife if you're going to use it for precise cuts or if you're doing some hardcore tasks that require that extra bit of grip. The Fenrir, in my opinion, is designed extremely well when it comes to ergonomics. Even just a little cutout here to put your index finger on, man, it is really good. I do wish that the jimping were a little bit higher up, just so that way you get that added bit of grip there. The jimping is closer to the bottom, which I guess makes sense if you are holding the knife with your index finger on that choil. But if you move on up, you kind of lose that, and it just feels a little loose. But then again, it's a ramp. You can kind of dig your thumb into that, and you should be fine. Aesthetically, I really love the handles on this knife, too. I love the fact that it goes from micarta to TI. It kind of feels like modern meets classic in a way. It's a pretty seamless. You can kind of feel on certain parts that micarta that's a little bit raised. But again, that's just if you're being kind of nitpicky about it. Overall, aesthetically, I think it looks phenomenal, and I think it was a really great choice. You also get options from, I believe, like jade, G10, and titanium. I'll go ahead and list some of the other options that you get in there, but it looks just really, really cool. Design-wise, great choice. Lock bar access on this one is spot on, unlike the Baku, but this one has already been in production for a while, I believe. I like the fact that they gave us that extra bit of lock bar access by kind of removing some of that front scale. And it's actually really nice. The only thing I've noticed with this knife, and I'm not sure why it's happening, maybe you guys can help me out down in the comments, there's a bit of a squeak, and it's not doing it now, of course. There's a bit of a squeak when I disengage that lock bar. Not sure why it's happening. If you guys know why, let me know down below. Doesn't really bother me. I don't really care, but I just noticed it, so something that I wanted to point out. As far as action goes, the action is really spot on. With this one, I love the fact that the thumb studs have enough separation from the scale so you can actually actuate them properly and it doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. Same thing on the opposite side. If you're going to go for a middle finger flick, it is super comfortable, and I really dig the way that they did the thumb studs on this knife. The one thing that I'm not a big fan of, and it's going to be a little strange coming from me because I talk about how much I love front flippers, is the front flipper design on this one. It's a bit tall, and I kind of wish that they would have done a little more jimping along the top of it, because what ends up happening for me is just that. Like, I keep sliding right off of it since it is kind of a taller front flipper. So I kind of have to put my thumb like in the middle of that and then give it a flick, and it works. It's not that uncomfortable, and it's not that big of a deal. But again, it's just one of those design things that I kind of wonder why that was done that way. Aesthetically, I guess it makes it look more badass, but as far as like usability goes, it's kind of pointless in my opinion. But again, just a take from a non-knife designer guy, just wanted to toss that in there. Now for me, I'm not big on having any sort of emblems on knives. I think they could just go without it. I like the fact that we have the Sparrow Knife Co logo on that side of the blade. but then we have the Kansept logo on the other side. So I wish it kind of would have been one or the other. I personally would have loved to see just the Sparrow Knife Co. logo on it rather than the Kansept one, but it's Kansept's knife. So if they want to show it off, they can show it off. My personal preference, maybe just do one logo for the next one, but hey, what can we say? The blade itself is extremely sharp, and I absolutely love it. I love this thick belly on there. That's just going to cut through stuff so well. Nice, sharp, pointed tip. It is just, man, like the design of the blade is just spot on. So Greg, you crushed it, my friend. I love the way this blade looks. So overall, the Fenrir is just a really cool knife. I think if you're looking to spice it up, if you're trying to check out one of Greg Schob's designs, and maybe you missed out on a Sparrow Strix, or maybe you can't do a full custom right now, I think the Fenrir is just a really cool production model. It looks like Kansept crushed it with the manufacturing on these. It was centered, it's sharp, packaging was spot on, it was a whole little experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I think these retail for like $188 or so, so why not pick one up? Under 200 bucks, thumb studs, nice sharp blade, really nice aesthetically. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for something to kind of spice up your collection. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have links down below to Kansept's website along with their Instagram if you want to give them a follow and check out any other production knives that they're working on. I highly recommend it. Let me know down below if you would carry a Fenrir, because I definitely will be, so you can expect some photos on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.